Democratic State Sen. John Whitmire defeated Democratic U.S. Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee in Houston's closely watched mayoral race on Saturday night, according to the Associated Press. As of Saturday evening, Whitmire was ahead by a wide margin, 65.27 to 34.73, as the city of Houston enters the final week before mayoral runoffs. Jackson Lee's ad encouraged city residents to vote on or before December 7. There was one problem: the runoff election was on Saturday, and the early voting period ended on December 5. Heading into Saturday night, Jackson Lee, a 30-year congressional veteran, was trailing Whitmire, who has more than 50 years of public service. In the polls, these two were two names that received the most votes in November 7 general elections, in which 17 candidates and one write-in candidate took part. About 21 of Houston's 1.2 million registered voters cast ballots in the November 7 election. According to the Associated Press, the current mayor, Sylvester Turner, is term limited. In this photo composite, U.S. Rep. Shelia Jackson Lee and Democratic State Sen. John Whitmire. At right. "It's been a pretty sleepy race so far," said Brandon Rottinghaus, a political science professor at the University of Houston. "We've seen mayoral races in the past where there's been a lot more fireworks, a lot more partisanship. This has been a race that frankly hasn't caught the voters' attention. The numbers haven't changed much since the November election." The SurveyUSA Research poll, conducted in mid-November on behalf of the University of Houston, found Whitmire with a 42-35 lead over Jackson Lee. The race is considered nonpartisan, but both Whitmire and Jackson Lee are Democrats. Jackson Lee withdrew key supporters, including former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo. But as Rottinghaus points out, large-scale approvals had failed to move the needle. Whitmire, meanwhile, boasted massive local support, including Jim Mattress Mack McIngvale, former Houston City Councilman Jack Christie, who ran as a Republican in the first round, and Republican megadonor Tilman Fertitta. Houston is considered the most diverse large city in America, so winning the mayoralty means winning over a coalition of voters. Turner's victory by just 2 points in 2015 over a conservative businessman was driven largely by black voters and get-out-the-vote efforts. According to the Houston Chronicle, Jackson Lee, who would be the city's first black female mayor if elected, has failed to mobilize black voters in the same way, Rottinghaus said. Rottinghaus said that the number of votes dropped significantly in areas where black voters were concentrated. Although Whitmire touted his credentials in the Democratic Party, he also had the support of Republicans and had many major GOP donors supporting him. The University of Houston poll showed him holding a 56-point advantage among Republicans, while Houston lean